The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 404.3a, addresses the placement of light switches in various locations within dwelling units, guest rooms, and guest suites. This section aims to ensure convenient and safe access to lighting upon entering a room or space. The core requirement of 404.3 stipulates that in every dwelling unit, guest room, or guest suite containing more than one sleeping room, bathrooms, or toilets, lighting fixtures or wall switches must be installed in all habitable rooms, hallways, stairways where a switch is not provided at the other end, and at every door opening from those portions of the unfinished basement or attic that are accessible from habitable rooms or hallways. This means that upon entering these designated spaces, a person should have immediate access to a light switch without having to navigate the room in darkness. The intent is to provide illumination precisely where and when it is needed, enhancing safety and convenience. The most common interpretation of this code is that a light switch should be located within reach of the doorway of a room. This ensures that individuals can activate the lighting immediately upon entering, thereby preventing accidents or discomfort associated with moving through an unlit space. The switch should be readily accessible, typically mounted on a wall adjacent to the doorframe at a height that complies with accessibility standards. This placement allows for easy operation by people of varying heights and abilities. Now let's delve deeper into specific scenarios. In habitable rooms such as living rooms, bedrooms, and kitchens, the light switch should be positioned near the entrance. This enables occupants to turn on the light as they enter, improving visibility and safety. Similarly, in hallways, light switches should be installed at regular intervals or at each end of the hallway. This ensures that the entire hallway can be adequately lit, reducing the risk of falls or collisions. For stairways, the code mandates a three-way switch configuration, meaning a switch at the top and bottom of the stairs. This allows users to control the lighting from either end, eliminating the need to traverse the stairs in darkness. In unfinished basements or attics that are accessible from habitable rooms or hallways, a light switch must be located at every door opening. This requirement addresses safety concerns associated with navigating these potentially hazardous spaces. The code recognizes that not all rooms require a light switch at the doorway. An exception exists for rooms that are less than 70 square feet in area. In these small rooms, the switch may be located outside the room, but it must still be within reach of the doorway. This exception acknowledges that in very small spaces, the need for immediate lighting may be less critical. It's essential to understand the scope of habitable rooms. These are spaces within a dwelling unit that are designed and intended for living, sleeping, eating, or cooking. Bathrooms and toilets are also considered habitable rooms for the purpose of this code section. Non-habitable spaces, such as closets or storage rooms, may not be subject to the same requirements for light switch placement. The NEC also specifies the mounting height for light switches. While the exact height may vary depending on local codes and accessibility standards, a common practice is to install switches at a height of approximately 48 inches above the floor. This height is generally accessible to most individuals, including those who use wheelchairs. The type of switch used is also relevant. Snap switches are commonly employed for general illumination. These switches are designed to control the flow of electricity to lighting fixtures, providing a simple and reliable means of turning lights on and off. Dimmers can also be used to control lights, but they must meet specific requirements in the NEC. When installing light switches, it is crucial to adhere to all applicable electrical codes and safety standards. This includes using appropriately sized wiring, ensuring proper grounding, and following manufacturer's instructions. Improper installation can create electrical hazards, such as shocks or fires. It's highly recommended to consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work, particularly if you are unfamiliar with electrical codes and practices. A licensed electrician can ensure that the installation meets all requirements and is performed safely. Now let's talk about some common misconceptions. One misconception is that the NEC dictates the specific location of the light fixture within a room. The NEC primarily focuses on the placement of the switch, not the fixture itself. While the fixture should be positioned to provide adequate illumination, the NEC does not typically specify its exact location. Another misconception is that the exception for small rooms applies to all rooms under 70 square feet. The exception only applies if the room does not contain more than one sleeping room, bathrooms, or toilets. In other words, even if a bathroom is less than 70 square feet, it still requires a light switch inside the room near the doorway. Also, there are nuances to consider when dealing with renovations or additions to existing structures. The NEC may allow for some flexibility in existing buildings, but new installations must comply with the latest code requirements. Always consult with a local building inspector or electrical inspector to determine the specific requirements for your project. Another crucial consideration is the use of energy-efficient lighting. While the NEC does not mandate the use of specific types of light bulbs, it encourages energy conservation. LED lighting is becoming increasingly popular due to its energy efficiency and long lifespan. When selecting light fixtures and bulbs, consider factors such as light output, color temperature, and energy consumption. Furthermore, consider the integration of smart home technology. Smart switches and lighting systems offer advanced features such as remote control, dimming, and scheduling. These systems can enhance convenience and energy efficiency, but they must be installed in accordance with the NEC and manufacturer's instructions. It's also important to understand the difference between the NEC and local building codes. The NEC is a widely adopted standard, but local jurisdictions may have their own amendments or additions. Always check with your local building department to determine the specific requirements in your area. Now let's talk about wiring. When wiring a light switch, it's important to use the correct gauge of wire. The gauge of wire is determined by the amperage of the circuit. For most residential lighting circuits, 14-gauge wire is sufficient. However, for circuits with higher amperage, 12-gauge or even 10-gauge wire may be required. Also, when making connections, ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause arcing, which can lead to fires. Use wire connectors or wire nuts to make secure connections. Furthermore, consider the use of arc fault circuit interrupters, known as FSIs. FSIs are designed to detect arcing faults in electrical circuits and trip the circuit breaker, preventing fires. The NEC requires FSIs in many areas of the home, including bedrooms, living rooms, and hallways. Another important aspect of light switch installation is grounding. Grounding provides a safe path for electricity to flow in the event of a fault. Make sure that all metal parts of the switch are properly grounded. This can be achieved by connecting a ground wire to the grounding screw on the switch. Also, consider the use of surge protection. Surge protectors can protect your electronic devices from voltage spikes. While surge protectors are not required by the NEC, they are a good investment to protect your valuable electronics. Keep in mind that the NEC is constantly evolving. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and safety standards. It's important to stay up to date with the latest code requirements to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. When dealing with three-way switches, it's crucial to understand the wiring configuration. Three-way switches require 3 wires, the common, and 2 travelers. The common wire is connected to the power source, and the travelers are connected to the other switch. The proper wiring of three-way switches can be complex, so it's best to consult with a qualified electrician. Also, consider the use of occupancy sensors. Occupancy sensors can automatically turn lights on and off based on whether someone is present in the room. These sensors can save energy by turning off lights when they are not needed. However, occupancy sensors must be installed in accordance with the NEC. Furthermore, think about the use of timers. Timers can be used to automatically turn lights on and off at specific times. These timers can be used to create the illusion that someone is home, deterring burglars. However, timers must be installed in accordance with the NEC. It's also important to consider the aesthetic aspects of light switch installation. Choose switches that complement the decor of your home. Switches are available in a variety of colors, styles, and finishes. Consider the use of decorative switch plates to enhance the appearance of your switches. In addition, consider the ergonomics of the switch. Choose switches that are easy to operate and comfortable to use. Rocker switches are often preferred over toggle switches because they are easier to operate with one hand. Also, consider the accessibility of the switch. Make sure that the switch is located within reach of all occupants, including those with disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act, known as ADA, provides guidelines for accessibility. Consult the ADA guidelines to ensure that your light switch installations are compliant. Keep in mind that electrical work can be dangerous. Always take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Turn off the power at the circuit breaker before working on any electrical circuits. Wear rubber gloves and eye protection. Use insulated tools. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. The NEC provides a comprehensive set of rules for electrical installations. By following these rules, you can ensure that your electrical systems are safe and compliant. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work. The information provided here is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Now let's talk about some advanced topics. Consider the use of power line carrier systems. Power line carrier systems allow you to control lights and appliances through your existing electrical wiring. These systems can be used to create a smart home automation system. However, power line carrier systems must be installed in accordance with the NEC. Also, think about the use of wireless lighting control systems. Wireless lighting control systems allow you to control lights and appliances remotely using a smartphone or tablet. These systems can be used to create a sophisticated home automation system. However, wireless lighting control systems must be installed in accordance with the NEC. The NEC also addresses the installation of low-voltage lighting systems. Low-voltage lighting systems use a transformer to reduce the voltage from 120 volts to 12 volts or 24 volts. Low-voltage lighting systems are often used for landscape lighting and accent lighting. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation of low-voltage lighting systems. When installing outdoor lighting, it's important to use weatherproof fixtures and wiring. Outdoor lighting fixtures must be rated for outdoor use and must be protected from the elements. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation of outdoor lighting. Also, consider the use of ground fault circuit interrupters known as GFCIs for outdoor circuits. GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock in wet locations. The NEC requires GFCIs in many outdoor locations. Finally, it's important to remember that electrical codes are constantly evolving. Stay up to date with the latest code requirements to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. Consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work.